Hello, everyone, and welcome to the My Argonauts channel. Wow. I haven't made many videos on this channel in recent years, and that's because mostly when I'm on YouTube now, all my time is spent with these gentlemen. I have my own sumo channel, in case you didn't know. Um, what's it called? I forget what I think it's just called Jason Sumo or Sumo Jason. And that channel grew huge, and then NHK copyright struck it 3 or 4 years ago, so it had to go away. So it came back as what it is now. And I couldn't post matches anymore, so I didn't get as many subscribers. But then this website, which I'm sure many of you know about, called Patreon, came along, or it'd been there, and I realized, well, I can move my match coverage in English, where I watch daily matches during a sumo tournament, to that paywall site where you have to pay $1 a month. That's what I charge to look at the content, um, and still do kind of a sumo summary show where I just talk about sumo in English because I've been doing that for 20 years. Uh, on YouTube, and that's actually turned out really good. And people pay for the content. I make a little bit of money. I get a little bit of money on the ads. I never used to be able to put ads on my sumo video because it wasn't my content, and I knew that if I did that, I would definitely get copyright strikes. But they eventually just really started to crack down, and fair enough, it's their content. And so, yeah, I that takes over my life for about 2 weeks. Every odd numbered month. We just had a basho here in the seventh month in July. It takes place in Nagoya. And I don't do much over here. But I was looking at my channel, my Arcanauts channel, the other day, because I was thinking, well, maybe I should just close it. Just I use it to watch, but maybe I should private all the videos or just kind of end it. And my very first upload to that channel, to this channel that you're watching now, was in October of 2006. And lo and behold, not too long from now, that is going to be 20 years ago, right? It's 19 years ago in so many months. So I'm coming up on my 20th anniversary making content for YouTube before we even knew calling it making content. So for the first year I was on YouTube from 2006 to December of 2007. All I did, I had a very crude camera. It didn't have a very big memory card. I would post like little 1 or 2 minute videos, mostly about my school life, being a foreigner, living in Japan, going to a kendo tournament, or going to the village festival in my town in Taisha and Shimane, things like that. And some of the videos were great and they got really popular. Some of them featured students more than maybe I should have because of, privacy and everything. So I took a lot of those down or privated them. And not everything is still up there that used to be up there. But the channel grew. And then I started to make vlogs about what it's like to be an ALT, but not just one or two. I really went whole hog and in depth, and those videos got very popular. So I made my very first me talking to the camera like this video in December of 2007. So that feels more like that's when I started to like be on YouTube and make vlogs and you know that kind of thing. So that's still sort of a year away. But my first video is October 11th, 2006. So, oh, I'm going to need these. Sorry. Uh, so I thought I would come on here and just sort of check in, see how some of you are doing. Some of you have been watching for all these 20 years, or at least maybe you still are subscribed, so you might get a notification that this video has been posted. I definitely have tried some things over the years. I tried to do a year by year summary, and I actually enjoyed that. It was called 50 Trips Around the Sun. And then I just didn't stick with it. I would love to have the time to pick it up again, but I don't know when that'll be. Um, I started to do some history videos for my students, but that had a sort of a fixed thing that I needed to do, and I haven't made more. So yeah. So right now, one of the things, and I'm so what am I going to do in this video? Well, I'm just going to chat about my life now in 2026, what's happened maybe in the past 5 years, because it feels like it's been 5 years since maybe I made just a regular vlog. Um, and feel free to ask questions down in the comments. Maybe I'll make a follow-up and answer questions, um, and what my plans are and things like that. So this is my apartment now. It's been very much on camera from different angles in the past. Well, I've lived in this apartment now for just over 10 years. I moved in here in 2016 in March. So this is my 11th year living here. And it's the longest I've ever lived continuously in one place at any point in my life. Um, I lived for 8 years in Dallas when I was growing up from 1977 to 1985. And then after I moved to San Diego, we lived in various places. I was getting older. I moved out, got an apartment with a friend. Then I moved to the Bay Area with my girlfriend, lived in various places. Then I moved back down to LA, to Santa Monica. Then I moved back down to San Diego to finish my education at UCSD. But all of these are like 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, you know. Um, and so, yeah, this is the longest I've ever lived anywhere. Even, the two previous stints here in Japan, 5 years in Shimane in Taisha, went home to America for a year in 2010, came back 5 years and a little bit in Hamada when I was working at the university in Shimane. Then I got this job where I teach now at a private high school where I don't teach English anymore. I teach history and social studies. And the history that I teach in high school is the IB program, the International Baccalaureate, where the students take my class in English. Obviously, they can choose to do it in Japanese or English. So my students obviously choose to do it in English. And they're trying to get the IB diploma, the International Baccalaureate degree, and it's very good. If they score well, it's a good ticket to getting into foreign universities if they want to study abroad. Unfortunately, most of them although some of them are very, very good at English, choose to stay in Japan anyway. And some of that, I think, in the past 5 years, because of the timing of when I've been, working at this school, is pandemic influenced. Nobody kind of wanted to leave the safety of your home country for many years. And then part of it is the atmosphere in America right now. Like, I think a lot of my kids would love to study in America, but the stories they hear about America, especially from a foreign country, about how divisive and divided it is, uh, things like the Black Lives Matter movement and where you can tell that there's people who are very much at odds with each other. Um, some of Donald Trump's policies toward foreign people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but maybe America is not the best place. So many of them choose instead to go to Australia, New Zealand, or the UK. Those are very popular. And of course, here in Asia too, some go to Korea, I have a student going to Singapore. I had one student who's a wonderful ballerina. She left our high school and enrolled in a school in Russia to study ballet. That's an unusual circumstance, of course, but I'm saying to use their English at a university setting, I haven't had that many students go to America. One student, I was his homeroom teacher, went to America because he wanted to learn to be a pilot, and he enrolled in an engineering course that would all, an aviation engineering that would also allow him to train to be a pilot. Um, I've had a few students that are not from Japan over the years. They have foreign-born parents or they were born in other countries and just found themselves in Japan for their high school. And so they've, gone to other countries. Um, like I had one student come over recently, and she was one parent is Japanese, one parent's American, and she's definitely bilingual, but she wanted to strengthen her Japanese. And so she came to our high school. She did most of her classes in English, but of course, just being immersed in daily life in Japan and taking some of her classes in Japanese, of course, including Japanese language course, helped her. And then when she graduated, she's now going to go to a university in California or Illinois, I think. Okay, so yeah, just things like that. I'm just going to talk about what life is like, but the thing that I'm kind of really into recently in my life is trading cards. Some of it is sumo trading cards. Let's see if I have a couple examples. So, sumo trading cards of sumo wrestlers, and some of them are nice and shiny. And of course, that ties in with my hobby, and you can get really cool ones. Like this is an autographed one that I pulled out of a box about a couple months ago, numbered out of 58. Um, and that, of course, ties into watching sumo. But recently, just kind of my ASMR, if you will, of activities is watching people break boxes, rip packs. There's all kinds of jargon for it. And I watch them do Disney, um, Marvel, DC. It's not sports cards I'm into. I don't watch them do baseball and football and basketball. It's non-sports cards. And so it's harder for me to get them here in Japan. But recently, Topps came out with these really shiny cards called Topps Chrome. And there's this kind of small box, which is pretty cheap. I think this is about $40 American. And even with shipping, it wasn't that bad. And then there's a bigger box that you can get at retail, like you could go to Target or something in America. And this one has an exclusive X-Force. This one has an exclusive Fantastic Four set. And then there's what they call the hobby box, which you have to be like a hobby dealer or get them directly from Topps. And they're much more expensive, but the special cards you can get, like autographs and things like that, are more available in those boxes than in these boxes. So I bought a box and I pulled out this many cards, not many, but I was really blown away by the quality of these cards. I used to collect these kind of cards a lot in the 80s and 90s. I worked at a comic book store right at the height of Image, Valiant, Superman Dying, X-Men #1, Jim Lee cover, and all those early X-Men, Marvel Masterworks, Marvel Masterpiece cards. I had all of those in binders. I don't know where they are now. I might have sold them because I did a big sort of like I had a storage unit for years. And when I went home after 5 years, I was paying 50, $60 a month for this storage unit for all my comic books and all my stuff. And I just was like, I can't keep spending this money. Who knows when I'll ever get back to this? So I went and did a big flea market sale, and I think I sold a lot of stuff. Some of it I tried to keep. Maybe it's in my sister's house. Um, I know I kept some comics because comics I had signed, comics that were personalized to me. I did keep one like short box, and maybe I kept some of my binders of cards. I don't know anymore. I've forgotten. But these are really fun. So I bought a little binder to put them in. And like I got right in my first box, I got the awesome Spider-Man card. And this is number 163. It's a big base set of um 200 cards, but there's all kinds of parallels. The Fantastic Four card I got was really awesome. It's this awesome card of the Thing, and I think there are like 10 of these, maybe, all four members of the Fantastic Four family, and then some of the other members. You can get these ones called refractors, which are like, see, it's kind of rainbowy. That's Black Knight on a refractor. I got Iron Man, I got Venom. If you're not a Marvel person, and then they're just so shiny and you can see like me in it. And the card stock is a little thicker than maybe a normal card. Uh, but yeah, I was just really impressed. And I'm like, you know what? I want to buy some more of these. So um, there's subsets that you're going to see as I open these and characters. Oh, here's like one of the specials you can get in this small box. It's called a Ray Wave, but it's not even t doesn't even tell you that on the back. You just have to obviously notice. And this is card 29, so it's like, yeah, it's a big set. And I don't think I got any other really like inserts. Oop, I got a little bug here on my desk. Let me see if I can get him. Yep, go away, bug. Okay. Um, so some of these characters, like Beast, I know from the X-Men, but I don't know why he looks like that. Um, I have no idea who Amaranth is. So there's characters I have no idea who they are. I could probably read about it. Because I'm not reading a lot of current Marvel. Like I don't know who Null is, but that's a cool card. That's one of those Ray Waves that I was talking about. So yeah, I'm just hoping to get some of my favorite characters. And then lastly, you can get cards. I kept this one in a special. This one's numbered. Can you see it down there? So this one's numbered out of 275. It's kind of a high number. 204 out of 275. Something to do with Spider-Man. Uh, Rec Rap. Hailing from the magical realm Limbo, the demon Rec Rap's life was saved by Spider-Man, and they tell you about it on the back. So, I don't think I'll sell these. I'll just probably put them in the binder now that I've got a binder to put them in because I bought two more boxes and we'll just have fun with it. So I'm going to open these, and as I open, we'll chat. I probably should have done this as a live stream. I just didn't think anybody would show up, maybe. You'd be like, who? My Argonauts? What's that? So, um, so it's a kind of an odd box. You open it, and these are the packs with Magneto. I'd love to get an Electra card. Daredevil would be another one I'd love to get. And in these, there's only 4 cards per pack, and a total of 32 cards. So 8 packs. And then we'll do the bigger box. Okay, so I'm just gonna start opening and yeah, so pandemic, basically, you know, shut down. For a teacher like me, it was tough because, all my classes went online. But you got used to it. I guess I should just keep that here and put all the little things in there. Okay, ooh, so I got my first Ray Wave. There's Doom. Sorry if you're not going to be able to see these very well. Lizard. I guess I should hold them over here. But see, then you're going to see the ring light. Ultron, and only 4 cards. Ultimate Daredevil. I don't know how different than Daredevil he is, but there's Ultimate Daredevil. Um, so, masking, COVID vaccinations. I ended up getting COVID because of school. It was just everywhere, every kid, and you're working with kids and you try to do your best to mask up and wash your hands, and the kids are supposed to too, but you're in classrooms breathing the same air. When kids get sick, often us teachers get it too. Arachnus, is that how you say his name? Arachnus? Don't know him. Luke Cage. I liked his TV show. Ant-Man, good card. And Strong Guy. Um, so that was not fun. The first time I got it, it's tough. I live alone. Um, and so I kind of have to do everything for myself. If, when you get sick like that and you have to isolate in your house and you're not allowed to leave, luckily I had some nice coworkers who, came over and brought me some groceries and um, I went to the doctor and got the test and tested positive, and so he gave me the medicine and you have to take it once a day for 5 days and, really, you know, but my throat real the first time I got COVID, my throat really wouldn't work. I could barely swallow or anything for about the first 48 hours I had it. I was really scared. That first night after I got diagnosed, it's like I don't even know how I'm going to take this pill. The pill like here's some pills I take now for my blood pressure. These are tiny pills. It was like a horse pill, and I'm like, I don't even know how I'm gonna swallow this. I couldn't eat. I could barely drink. Like I had to take little sips. And so breathing, even like sleeping and worrying, it was rough. And then it got better, and I didn't really ever have like a terrible cough or anything. I just felt crap and the throat. So stayed home from work, went through it, eventually got better, but it kind of lingered. And for a while, my doctor thought I might have long COVID. This is kind of a cool card, Dr. Doom on the Beyond. Yeah, it's just a subset. Deathlock. I don't even know who that is. And Colossus with a, how does he grow a goatee and mustache out of metal? I don't know. Um, I'm very excited about the Spider-Man movie. Sorry, I know I'm interrupting my story. Which is coming out Friday, even here in Japan on the 31st. I'm filming this on Wednesday, the 29th of July. And yeah, so here in Japan, you always have to be careful when you go to the movies. If you're a moviegoer like me, you'll quickly learn the symbol that says dubbed and subtitled. Mm. So subtitles, sometimes there'll be 10 showings of the dubbed version and like two showings of the subtitled version. So I have to go see the subtitled version. So it's in English, subtitled in Japanese. Luckily, where I live now in Hiroshima Prefecture, there is an IMAX theater about a 30-minute drive from where I live. And I have a car. So I drive out there all the time and watch my big movies. Like the big movie of the summer right now is The Odyssey, the Christopher Nolan film. And it doesn't open here, though. This happens here in Japan. It doesn't open here until mid-September. So I have to wait about another 6 weeks before I get to see that movie, which is a bummer because I'm on summer vacation now, which is why I'm making this video in the middle of the day on a Wednesday. I have 3 weeks, 3 weeks off as a teacher in the summer here, and none of the big summer movies, or a lot of them, aren't available. Or a movie like Toy Story 5, which I would go see because I like that Toy Story. I like the Toy Story franchise, is only available dubbed because they figure kids are the main audience. They don't want they Some of them, too young to read. Some of them wouldn't want to read. Adults here don't want to read. So they just put it out dubbed into Japanese. And a cartoon, that's fine. But I think if I were an adult Japanese viewer and I wanted to go see any movie, that's got live people in it, I would want to see it in the original. It's just like when I watch Japanese movies, I don't want to hear English voices coming out of Japanese actors. I want to hear their voice and then read the subtitles. And I think people, because of Netflix and things like Squid Game and other things, have sort of gotten better at that. But anyway, so Spider-Man will be in IMAX. I will go see it. Again, it's only showing like twice a day, but or maybe three times, but I will definitely get in to see it this coming up weekend, and I'm looking forward to it. So, and then of course at the end of the year we get the big Marvel. Oh, nice card. We get the big Avengers Doomsday movie, right? Which you're hearing all about from Comic-Con. Nice. This is Daredevil Icons. That's a cool card for me. I like that. Ooh, Gambit. Cool character. Another null, so I'm going to get a few duplicates, of course, and somebody called Rapid. I have no idea who that is. Okay, so pandemic, got the COVID. No worries, got through it. And then um, that year, oh man, I should really know better the years. I want to say 2022. So after the maybe it was 2021, after kind of COVID had sort of like reared its head and there was a lot of travel restrictions about who can fly where, and you had to have shots and proof of this, and all that kind of stuff. My father, who was already in a retirement home and had to be assisted living, he couldn't walk anymore in San Diego. He passed away, and he was in his 80s. My mother passed away in 2013, I want to say. So it had been almost like 8 or 9 years that he had to live without her. They had been married for like 50 years. Um, so that was tough, and I had to fly home, obviously, and help my sister make the arrangements and, all the stuff. And that was a really rough trip because Um, it was all the distancing, like you couldn't sit next to someone on the plane. And when I got to America to get back on the plane, I had to get a test. But the test, oh, it was so, oh my gosh. Um, but anyway, so that was a life event. And life went on though. Ooh, another ray wave there. This character called Scream Magic. Spider Punk. I think that's from the Spider-Verse movies. I like those movies. And Shocker. Um, so I came back, and I think later that next year, I just wanted to. Um, oh, I know. I'd meant to go to Guam. I'd meant to go to Guam, and I wanted to go in the summer when I have vacation. And I got COVID. I remember this now. So I couldn't go. That was the first time I got COVID. So the airline gave me a voucher. United says, well, we're not going to refund your money, but we'll give you your money back as like a gift card. You can reuse it when you rebook a flight. Okay. And the hotel was nice. They refunded my money. I don't even think they kept the deposit. So 6 months later, I was like, well, I'm going to go to Guam. Now it's winter vacation. So it's what we call Oshogatsu here in Japan. And this is a refractor of the vulture, so it's got those kind of shiny, there you go, rainbowy things. I think that just means there's less of them than the regular card. Dark Gwenpool. Who the hell is that? Glitch, and some of them say this first thing. That means it's the first appearance of them on a Marvel card, and a character called Blink. Um, so I went to Guam. I was going to be there for 4 days, something like that. 4 days, 5 days. Wonderful hotel. Guam's a tiny island, but it's basically America. So as an American with an American passport, it's like going from Nevada to California. It's nothing. So you get off the plane and you go in a separate line because you're an American citizen, and it's real easy peasy. The flight's only like 4 hours I went from Osaka to Guam. There's only one or two flights a day, so it's not that available, but it's easy. There's is there a time difference? Maybe it's like an hour different. I can't remember. It's not much though, so there's no jet lag or anything. And yeah, they have a Kmart where it's like they don't have like a Target or a Walmart, but it's a Kmart. They have all the American like restaurants, like they have a Chili's and a TGI Fridays still, and Burger King and all that kind of stuff. And everybody kind of speaks English. Um, Obviously big military base there and stuff. But for tourists, it's just beaches and wonderful scenery. And so I went by myself, and stayed in a really nice, like, kind of resort hotel, got a good deal. Um, and actually, I kind of got saved because if I'd gone in July or August when I had originally planned to go, that's actually rainy season in Guam. Invisible Woman, Silver Sable, X-23, and Luna Snow, whoever that is. Um, So it would have been, and I looked because I was, I couldn't go, so I was here. Um, it would have rained the whole time I would have been there, which would kind of suck because you want to be able to go to the beach and everything. So when I went in January, I went on like January 3rd to like January 8th, right after New Year. It was cold here, it's winter here, but when I got to the island, it was 27 degrees Celsius. I think we had one day where I got up to 30. It rained one of my 4 days, but it didn't even rain the whole day. And 27 is like, I don't know, like 88 degrees Fahrenheit or something. You can do the conversion. Um, but it was warm. And so I went from, wearing long trousers and a hoodie and, being cold, to wearing, shorts and a t-shirt. And, obviously the resort had uh, wonderful dining, and then it had a big pool, and but it was right on the beach, and it had its own little private beach that you could walk down to. And then, like at the end of it, like there was kind of a dividing line, and then there was like a public beach, but it was all in kind of like a cove, so the water wasn't coming in really hard, and you could walk pretty far out. Um, and the water was just, I can't say enough good things about Guam. If you have a chance to go, it was wonderful. It was beautiful. Um, I went out every night for dinner, and it was just great. I did a big shopping spree at the Kmart and bought a whole bunch of American products that I like to have. Just stupid stuff like Tylenol and Pert shampoo and Reach toothbrushes and things that I like to buy. So it was great. And the final night when was going to bed to get up the next morning, I think my flight was super early at like 7 a.m. And then it would get back to Japan. And I had driven my car to Osaka, which is about 4 hours, um, and stayed the night in a hotel before my flight. And that let me use their parking lot at only like $10 a day for my car. And I was just going to get a cab back across because Osaka Airport, if you've never been there, KIX is on, it's like a little island in the water there, in Osaka. So anyway, so I had to fly home, get my bags, get in a cab, go to the hotel, pay my parking ticket, put all my bags in my car, and then drive for 4.5 hours, whatever it is, to get back to here. And then, like, the next day, I think was my first day of school in the new year. I had timed it that way. So the night I'm gonna go, I'm packing and I'm just like, you know what? I'm not gonna go out to eat or anything. I'm just gonna get a pizza from like room service. And so the pizza came up and I ate some of it. I didn't feel very well. And wonder if I got a bad pizza. And then I just couldn't, I was like sweating and I was like, oh man, am I getting COVID again? And I really debated whether I should say, oh, sweet. I forgot. So this is my Fantastic Four pull. Yay. That's awesome. Johnny Storm. Very cool. The Human Torch, of course. So I got two really good Fantastic Four cards. Hercules, which is somehow a Marvel character. Oh, cool. I got Thor and Werewolf by Night. Okay, so that ends that box. All right, so we'll put those aside. Um, yeah, so I felt like crap. And I was just, things were coming out of orifices, and I was like, am I even gonna be able to get on this flight? But I knew if I went to Guam Airport or something and I said, I might have COVID, they would like pull me aside and they would have tested me, and then they would have to have put me somewhere in Guam at my own expense, most likely, while I got over COVID, and I would have missed, and then I would have to rebook the flight and everything. So I put my mask on and I just kind of got on the flight, and I'm just like, okay. I took like a medicine that maybe you've heard of called Imodium, which really like makes you not have to poop for a day. So I just got on the flight and I'm like, as long as I don't have to like get up and go to the bathroom and like, vomit or do anything else, because bathrooms on airplanes are already tough for me because of my size. I can barely like sit myself down properly in them anymore. And I was flying business class to get the bigger seat. And on the way to Guam, the person sitting next to me wasn't there. So it was like, woohoo. So I had plenty of room. But on the way back, some poor person was sitting next to me. But I wasn't bothering them. I mean, I put my headphones on or my earbuds in, as we say nowadays, and just listened to music for 3 hours. Tried to sleep, couldn't really sleep. Didn't eat the meal that they gave me. Was just, like I said, just drinking water or 7 Up or whatever I had and just hoping that I would make it. And I did. And but I felt lousy and I got back, and the bad thing, if you ever have to take a taxi from Osaka airport to like the station or a hotel, is they charge you a fee of like 2,000 yen, which to me always sounds like $20. It's not anymore with the current conversion rate, but it feels like a lot of money. 2,000 yen plus your taxi fee just to go over this bridge that bridges the airport island with the mainland. So my taxi, even though it was like the equivalent of like a $20 taxi ride anywhere else, ended up costing like 5,000 yen. So I was like, oh man. And then I had to pay to get my car out. And I was like, am I gonna make it? I really feel bad. And so what I did was is I drove out of Osaka, which is a road, busy roads and like, dense urban area, and you really have to be paying attention. And that took about an hour, and then I got kind of past Hyogo-ken and Kobe. And along the freeway, there's these roadside rest stops that are really well equipped. Some have like a Starbucks or even a McDonald's, but you're not allowed to go off the road because the road is a toll road where you pay money to use it. So they're like self-contained rest stops, but they have bathrooms. And of course, if you've traveled to Japan, you know how good the Japanese public toilets are, etc. And I pulled over into one and I just put my seat back in my car and I slept. And I slept for about an hour. And I woke up and I felt a little bit refreshed. And then I did the other, like, 2.5 hours of driving, and I got home and I was like, man, I don't feel good. But I wasn't sure it was COVID. So I didn't have any quite the same symptoms. So the next day I had to go to school. So I went to school and wore a mask and just told the school nurse, who kind of helps us sometimes with stuff, I said, I don't feel good. I should really go to the clinic, and maybe when I'm there, I'll have him test me. And she's like, okay. So I did, and I went, and he did. Oh, I hate that swab up the nose. And of course, I came back positive. So COVID number two. Yay. Thanks, Guam. Um, so this box. Where is it? Okay, here we go. 8 packs per box, 7 cards per pack. So I'm going to get 56 cards out of these thicker packs. And it's not okay. And like I said, X-Force is the insert, and some of the other X-Fractor parallels. I can guaranteed one of those. You could get a sketch card, you could get an autograph. Of course, all of that would be amazing, but those are rare. So here we go. So yeah, so I ended up having COVID twice. The second time was, I mean, I almost would characterize it as mild. I don't know if you guys have had it more than once, but I just took the medicine. I felt better pretty quickly. Um, yeah, so it wasn't a big deal. Okay, let's see. So we got this thing called Future Stars, a character named White Tiger. That's like an insert. Black Knight, Jubilee, cool Jubilee card. Strong guy again, so that's a double. Anti-Venom, and they're just milking that Venom character. Ultron again, and Vulture. You can't really see it here because of the way, but see how down here there's a building? Like there's stuff in the backgrounds of the cards that are really cool. So yeah, I just really like these cards. So yeah, so that was that. School has been okay. I'm now the longest because this is my 11th year teaching there. I've been there longer than any other teacher there now, except one, the nice lady who from the Philippines, who's what we call the DP coordinator, the diploma program. Uh, like she's the boss of the foreign staff, and she runs the IB program at the school, and she's really very fair lady and very she teaches too, and she does a lot of admin work. She works really hard and she keeps the whole machine running. Um, and the school has been pretty successful. So what I did is 3 years ago, I became a homeroom teacher for 10th graders. And in Japan, you're assigned to a group of students and you're with them every day. You start the day with them, they stand up, they bow, you do announcements. Then they have their classes because they move around as a group. And I have my classes where I go off and teach whatever I have, and I have a break here, and I have, you know, and then it's lunchtime, and then there's some more classes, and then after sixth period at around 3 o'clock, 2:45 each day, we clean. So in Japan, the students clean the school. They clean the toilets, they take out the trash, they vacuum the floors, they sweep, whatever, all different various jobs. Um, they wipe down the desks, they erase the whiteboards. So I go up every day and hang out with them while they do that. And then we often have what we call short homeroom, where we say, okay, what is our classes for tomorrow? Make sure you're taking home the right homework. Anybody got any announcements? Oh, we've got a club activity for this tomorrow, or we got this meeting, or don't forget next week you have to do this, or you have a medical test tomorrow where you have to go and everybody has to, ear, eyes, nose, throat doctor is going to come and look at you all, blah, blah, blah. So the idea is maybe that you'll start with a group and stick with them years in a row. Not so much in the junior high, but in the high school, it's kind of nice. So you stay with that cohort, 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade, and you see them graduate. So I'd done that once before where I wasn't their 10th grade homeroom teacher, but I was their 11th and 12th grade teacher for the IB program part. The IB program starts in 11th grade, and it was good. I enjoyed it. They had me do seventh grade for 1 year. I don't know why. It was okay. I wasn't the greatest in that. I'm not as good with the younger kids as I am with the older kids. And my you have a partner who's Japanese, a Japanese teacher and a foreign teacher. And he was, you know, we didn't necessarily, get along that great or work together as a team that well. We got along fine. Um, so then they said, well, okay, we're going to put you on 10th grade. So I had this 10th grade class, and it just so happened that that 10th grade class was just a great class. There were a bunch of students in it in 10th grade, and then by the time we got to 11th grade, like I said, that one girl had gone off to Russia to be a ballerina. Another girl left to go study in Canada. A couple kids figured out that the IB program wasn't for them, and so they either went into our regular high school, one kid went to a different high school. So by the time we got to 11th grade, it was 13 students, and 10 of them were taking most of their classes in English. So when I spoke in English every day, the kids really understood me. And three of them were taking all their classes in Japanese, and they had not come up through the same English immersion program in junior high that the other kids had, but they could still, basically understand. But of course, the Japanese teacher would make a lot of announcements in Japanese because all the kids were born in Japan in that class. There were no foreign kids in that class. And he and I worked really well together. So I just had a wonderful experience for 3 years with them, and they just graduated this past February. Green Goblin. Screaming, I think that's a duplicate. Emma Frost from the X-Men. Oh, cool. Miles Morales, the new Spider-Man. No idea. Oh, cool. I got Daredevil. Yeah. I really wanted Daredevil and Deathlock. Okay, cool. That's a really good pack. Um, so yeah, I couldn't have asked for a better group of kids, and I'm in fact, now that they're alumni, they're all in college. We're gonna meet up this summer and do something fun like go bowling or go to karaoke, and they're just wonderful humans, and I'm really lucky that I got to be their teacher because obviously I taught 10 of them history, the ones that were studying in English, plus I was their homeroom teacher, and that was a great experience. So. Uh, I really have enjoyed my time at this school. I just think the level of English the students come to the school with, even when they start in seventh grade, is often very surprisingly good. Like you're surprised how well the kids can communicate. Not that their writing skills and stuff are top notch or anything yet, but the school is starting to shift a little. They've started to do more sports. We have a really good soccer team now and a really good baseball team. We have a really good girls basketball team, and that attracts students because it's a private school. You have to pay money to go to the school, but because it's one of the better teams in those two sports, baseball and soccer in Hiroshima Prefecture, um, kids want to come here. And so that's good because those kids pay money and that money pays my salary. But the IB program isn't as attractive as maybe I thought it would be. Like I thought we'd have more and more students every year as it kind of gains traction and more people hear about it in Japan, but not really. I think kids that grow up in Japan want to stay in Japan. There's a safety and a comfort there that very few of them want to adventure outside of Japan to live or go to college, maybe for a year, like a study abroad year, but maybe not for all 4 years, etc., like that. So more of the kids now are signing up to do the IB program in Japanese. So for instance, in my year 10 class that I'm now homeroom teacher for again, and I'd stay with them, although I don't think I'll be in Japan 2 years from now. Uh, it's a class of 18 kids, only six are taking it in English, and 12 of the 18 are taking it in Japanese. And some of them, they just haven't had that much exposure to English yet. So they can understand me, I think, basically, but we're not having deep conversations, and my Japanese has gotten better, so we can chat in Japanese a little bit, but that's not the goal, right? The goal is to expose them to English. So this is one of the parallels you can get. It's like a checkerboard. Can you see it? Cosmic Ghost Rider, Beyond Molecule Man, kind of cool. Captain Britain. Ooh, Thanos, that's a cool card. I loved Infinity War and Endgame. Rapid again. Scorpion, who's going to be in the new Spider-Man movie. Not in that costume, though, I don't think. And Hobgoblin. Nice card. Um, so yeah. The main thing making me think that, I've only got about a year left here in Japan, is I've been here a long time now. I moved here in 2004, and it's now 2006, and I'm getting older. I'm 57 now. I just had a birthday in the beginning of the month. And oh, here's my X-Force. I might get two of these. I think I get at least one. There's Shatterstar. That's a cool looking card. Agatha Harkness. I think she's from the Wanda show, but this is like obviously a very different version of her. Kitty Pryde and X-Men. Shocker, we've seen. Oh, Iron Man is a double. So that's kind of cool. I can give that one away. Named Glob to read where he's from in another null. Um, is my health. Yeah, I'm not doing that well with my weight. Um, I've had a problem with like, because I'm so big, the blood goes, circulates. So my heart's pretty good. I don't have diabetes. I don't drink. I don't smoke. So overall, I'm not that bad off, but my weight, I weigh about 180 kilos, which is just shy of 400 pounds. And the blood will go down into my legs and it doesn't come back up very easily. So my legs, my calves have started to discolor and swell, and we've worked on different things for that. And I need to lose weight, and I've known that for years, and it's the kind of thing where I recently was talking to a friend who had a heart attack, because we're all getting older, and he smoked. And so it wasn't too shocking that it happened. And he was good for about a year, and he's gone back to smoking. Some people, it's very hard to quit some of these things. This is some kind of subset called Meanwhile. I don't really know that much about it. Oh, here's my hit. Here's my numbered hit, and it's a good number out of 50. Sweet, but kind of not a character I know that much about. I know who the Juggernaut is. This is Kid Juggernaut. So that's out of 50. Adam Warlock. They tried to put him in the Marvel Universe. Taskmaster, who was in those Black Widow movies. Oh, cool. Silver Surfer. It's an awesome card. Oh, Professor X this is a good pack. And Doom 2099, not the regular Doom. So I'm finally gonna go on kind of a I actually go to the hospital this weekend. I'm gonna go on kind of an Ozempic style drug, I think it is. It's one of these weight loss drugs, GLP-1s or something like that. And it's supposed to help you feel full and not crave as much food. And you need to obviously I'm gonna change my diet. I don't go crazy. I love cola. I've never really been able to give up regular Coca-Cola, regular Pepsi, Dr. Pepper. People say, "Oh, just drink diet." I just can't. I just hate diet colas. I've gone weeks without drinking it, or one, I'll drink like half of like a bottle this size, which is about 16 fluid ounces, 500 ml. I'll drink like half on a Tuesday and put the other half in the fridge and drink the other half on a Wednesday. So I'm not drinking a whole lot because that's not even like a can, right? Um, but I kind of just can't give it up. But this past week, getting ready to go to this appointment, I haven't had any cola in 6 days. So that's probably and so, I I recognize that I need to give it up, but it's tough. It's my source of caffeine. I don't drink coffee um, at school when I need a little hit. It's obviously not good for me, though. I understand that. And then, yeah, I think I just eat. I don't eat a lot I live alone. I've lived alone for many years now. I'm not the greatest chef. I make very simple food that I know how to make that's easy at night after I get home from work and I'm tired. But I eat a lot of breads. I eat a lot of pasta, pizza, tacos, which is tortillas. Um, I eat sandwiches for lunch. I don't eat a lot of rice. I don't even have a rice cooker. But I recently signed up for a meal service. Like you have a lot of these in America. I've seen called Factor or whatever, but here it's called Green Spoon. Ooh, this is a cool card. This is one of these. Oh shoot, what's it called? Oh, is that just that thick? Ooh, it's that thick. Fanfare card. It's like a different style of art. I wish it was a better character. Not that Black Knight's not cool, but this would be great if it was like Spider-Man or Wolverine or something. Um, Quicksilver. Ooh, Black Panther. Good card, good pull. Moon Knight. Didn't like the TV show, but I still like the character. And I think this is like my third glitch. So, those are great. I get 8 prepackaged meals. You just heat them up in the microwave and eat them. Some of those I eat with rice, but I'll just buy like a little pre-pack of rice that I heat up. Um, and so, yeah, I've got to work on the diet, and exercise is a problem because the legs, the feet hurt. And I am going to sign up for a gym. I signed up for a gym a while ago, and I actually bought a treadmill for my house. and it was over in that other room because my bedroom's down the hall out if you go out that door. But this is just sort of an extra room. Um, and I just was too heavy for it. And after I used it for about 3 or 4 months, I stepped on it one day and the belt kind of stuttered, and then it started to like not work right, and I ended up giving it away. So yeah, I just it was rated up to 150 kilos, and I think back then when I was using it, I was probably 170, 175. So if you go to a professional gym, they have really professional equipment, and so I'm just going to sign up and go walk on the treadmill every day and maybe do a little lightweight training just to have something to do this summer because I'm not traveling, I'm not going anywhere, I'm not going to America. So yeah, so that's the only concern. Ooh, another cool special parallel, but Spider-Man 2099 cool character. Ooh, another cool icons Kingpin. Yay. That'll go really well with my Daredevil. Mantis, Ares, Luna Snow. Come on now. Marvel. She-Venom? Really? Venom with breasts? I mean, do we need that? Oh, Rogue. That's a cool color. Anyway, so that's really the reason. The only problem is, and the what I'm saying is like I'm getting older and it would be nice to have some help some days. And being this big in Japan is tough because things just are not built for my size people here. Even when I go to like hospitals and clinics and stuff, sometimes I'll be like, okay, they want to weigh me. I'm like, okay, oh, our scale only goes up to 150 kilos. Well, sorry. Or, like you'll go to a waiting room and all the chairs will have arms. And so it's hard for me to find a chair to sit in because they're too tight, which is my problem on, airplanes and cinemas sometimes. Luckily, the local cinema, not the IMAX one, you can put the arm up. And anytime I go see something in English with subtitles, Jimaku, it's never packed. It's never crowded because, not as many people go to that version. So I can always get an empty seat next to me. When I go to the IMAX, I actually pay an upcharge. There's like 2 rows in the IMAX theater at my place that are called premium seats. And they're like right in the center, like in the sweet spot for the sound and everything. But they're also slightly wider than the other seats in the auditorium. And I fit into them okay. So, uh, but it's an extra 350 yen to sit there. I don't mind, of course, but so yeah, so it's just tougher, and I think America will be a bit better. I have a niece who now has a daughter, so I'm a great uncle, and she's really awesome. Her name is Violet, and I want to hang out with her, see my sister, my niece, obviously, and her husband are good people. Um, so yeah, I would like to be able to get a job when I go back to California. I have a couple of ideas. I don't mind teaching, but I don't have my teaching credentials, see? And the big thing is, if I go back to America, I won't have any health insurance. And here, the national health, the Japanese healthcare system, I mean, I go do all these things, and I had to stay in hospital for 5 days a little while ago, and it's relatively cheap. The hospital stay ended up being a little bit more than I thought it would be, but in general, going to the doctor, getting medicines, it's so cheap here. Dentist, super cheap, things like that. Uh, so I would almost have to get a job when I went back, even though I would get my pension from Japan and it would be a significant amount. Although the what's it called? The exchange rate is just killing me right now. Um, I would almost have to get a job just to be able to get insurance, or else I'd have to get private insurance. Oh, cool. Oh, I thought this was a different character. All right, there's my other X Factor card, but Richter, I'm not quite sure who that is. I was hoping it'd be Cable or somebody cool. One Nation Under Doom, that's a cool card. That's an insert. Moonstar Hawkeye from the Avengers. Oh, Hulk. That's a cool card to get. Ironheart. I think they tried to make a TV show with her. And Silver Sable. All right, guys, and that was it. We are done. So, yeah, I might even get maybe another couple boxes of those if I can. So, I want to go back. Do I have some ideas. I need to talk it over with my school. The problem at school is I teach seventh, eighth, ninth grade social studies, and then 10th, 11th, 12th grade history. I'm the only English language social studies history teacher because I do all six grades, and that's been that way for 10 years. So there is no backup teacher. There is no, if I'm sick or can't go to school, then the kids do math or science or something instead. There's no really substitute teachers here. Other teachers cover when, like I'll go and take over, Mr. X's class or Miss Y's class when they're out, and they'll either let me do my subject with those students or they'll have prearranged some activity and I'll just kind of babysit. But yeah, so I feel like we need to get another teacher in and get trained, um, unless they really know the IB. But the trick of it is the IB history curriculum that I've been doing for 10 years, and we do a very particular, this book for this test and this book for this test, um, is changing, and it starts next year. So it's like a whole new system. Do I want to invest in learning how to do all that and get that started, even though maybe that'll be my last year? Or do I want to kind of cut it off right now before I have to like invest time and energy and mind space to that whole new curriculum? Um, but I would feel bad because I know the school would have a tough time, finding somebody to take over who's got experience. And I just gave myself a thumbs up. Um, and then be able to launch into this new thing. And of course, there's always going to be that one cohort who isn't starting the new thing, but is finishing the old thing. So it's like if I stay one more year, I can at least finish off the 11th graders now as when they're 12th graders and get them through the old curriculum before everybody's on the new curriculum, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I just don't, it'll either be 2027 I go home or 2028. I really do feel like it's time. And then I don't know what'll happen to this channel. So if you've watched this far, give it a thumbs up down in the likes. Um, yeah, I don't know if I'll just close it or I don't think the old videos, the old ALT videos, even though they were really popular for a while, get many views anymore. Um, because now it's like there's the information, is it outdated? Probably not. It's probably still valid, but I made those videos in 2007, 2008. Um, you know, that's a long time ago now. My YouTube channel is older than all of my students, which is kind of crazy to think about. So, anyway, if you came along today and you watched all the way till now, thank you so much for just sticking around, listening to me rant. If you have questions, I didn't really talk about a wide array of topics, but that's kind of been what's happening and where I'm going. And yeah, I'm enjoying my hobbies that I get to spend a little bit of my discretionary income on because I don't have children and I don't have, uh, just me. I don't even have a wife or anything like that. Um, and but probably the end goal is to move back and enjoy what I have left in California, probably. Um, but yeah, I would love to keep teaching. I'm still very passionate about it. I love history. And if I got a job at a private school, I believe they can employ me without the teaching credential. Um, and I mean, I could get the teaching credential, but at 58 or whatever I'm going to be, do I really want to go to college for a year to get a certificate that says I can do something I know I can already do? I don't know. We'll see. Okay, I think I'm just going to leave it off there. If you have any other questions, um, again, leave them down in the thing. Maybe if I get another of these boxes at the end of the summer, I'll do another one of these videos. Maybe I'll do something in October to mark the absolute 20th anniversary. But yeah, take care of yourselves. Have a good summer. I'll see ya. Peace.